It's just my voice and my screen. And then when you're ready, we'll bop back into our seat. And I use an armless kitchen chair. It is my favorite thing. Anything with arms I feel like is limiting. And if we're in a chair with wheels, we definitely want to lock those wheels or find a stationary chair. So optional props to bring some ease today are going to be blocks and a strap. And you might use neither of them, and you might use all three. It's entirely up to you. To start practice, we're just going to find our seat and come into our bodies, bringing our mind, the busyness of our mind, down into the physical sensations that are happening within us. And we'll do that just like this. We're going to find our seat, and then we're going to scoot forward towards the edge of it. And you'll notice there's a point where your sits bones, those little bony protrusions underneath each butt cheek, sort of catch on the edge of the seat. And maybe you feel it, maybe you just scoot forward to a comfortable place on your chair. And then feel the pads of your feet press firm into the earth. We really want this strong foundation. So feeling this energetic pressure down through these sits bones, down through the pads of the feet. You might even actively press gently down through the pads of the feet to feel that grounding sensation. And then while our lower half grounds down, while it sinks into that gentle, calming energy, from the solar plexus up, right? Our solar plexus chakra up at the midline of the body, we're going to rise. And so on your next inhale, you might even reach through the top of the head, creating length through the spine. And so we're feeling with each inhale that grounding pressure, the rising of the body. And then on your next exhale, relax the shoulders away from the ears. Soften the jaw and the tongue. You might even close your eyes for a moment and simply focus on the sensations of your breath. Maybe you take that deep inhale in and out of the nose, filling the belly and the chest with each inhale. Letting them relax and soften with the shoulders on each exhale. The whole of the face continues to soften as you breathe. Now let's find a little movement. With eyes closed, let's draw little circles on the ceiling with the top of our head. We're just going to keep them little, slow, chill little circles, waking up the neck and the shoulders, maybe the size of a baseball or a tea saucer, just something that feels good and gentle. You might allow your mind's eye to notice the gentle shifting of the weight of your head. Letting the mind take in all the little details of physical sensation here. And then let's let those circles grow, drawing each one a little bigger than the last, but taking it so slow. And I always say, if you want to pair this movement with the breath, which is my favorite thing, we're going to inhale as the face rounds skyward, the head rounds back. Exhale as the face rounds forward. Moving with big, slow body breaths. Each inhale, a new opportunity to press through the top of the head. Yes, even at this angle. Each exhale, an opportunity to keep the length, but relax the shoulders down towards the earth. A deep breath into the belly. We don't want to hold or shallow our breath while we're doing this. Deep breaths invite vagal nerve stimulation, which means a calming of our nervous system. When you're ready, roll to a stop, and then let's switch sides. Big, slow circles, moving with the breath. Warming up those shoulders, breathing deep into the heart and the belly. Each inhale, a new opportunity to expand. Each exhale to release. And then let those circles begin to shrink nice and slow. There's no rush. Each circle just a little smaller. Taking our time here. Until the circles get so small that the head floats in stillness above the shoulders. We'll warm up the shoulders on an inhale. You might sweep the arms out and up or up in front of you, depending on what feels better. As you exhale, palms come together towards the heart in Anjali Mudra. Let's do this a few more times. Each big inhale, pressing out through those fingertips. Each exhale, pulling the palms towards the heart center. And we'll continue to do this for a little while. And you might just imagine as we move through our first yama, our yama of nonviolence, the easiest way I think that we often apply this to our yoga is through choosing postures and movement that don't hurt us. And so as we move through the practice today, moving through yoga, moving with the breath, exploring the body, I encourage you to practice your ahimsa, your nonviolence, by choosing ease everywhere the body is asking for it. Let's do this twice more, pressing out through those fingertips, filling the body with each breath. And then on your last inhale, you might imagine sweeping up love, gentleness, compassion for your practice, and then pulling it into your heart center. And let's rest here for a moment and just let that sweetness, that gentleness, that compassion, that understanding and love sink into your heart center. You might press those thumbs against the heart and breathe it on into the body. We commit to nonviolence today. First in our yoga practice. All right, from here, we're going to move up and warm into a seated sun salutation. So the first thing that we're going to do is some forward folds. This can be hard on the body, hard on the head. A lot of people don't enjoy forward folding, but we're going to make it work for our body today. So to forward fold, you might find that exactly where you are works great. For me, I have a tummy, so I'm going to heel toe my feet out about to shoulder width here. So I have plenty of space for my belly. And then I'm going to grab blocks to bring ease and just place them down in front of me. You do you, boo. On an inhale, once more, sweeping those arms up overhead. On an exhale, we're going to plant the hands down on our thighs, keeping this height and length in the spine. We're going to send our heart and our belly forward. I'm going to tuck my belly in between my thighs, really giving it space, heel toeing my knees out wider if that's what I'd like. And then as you drop your heart center down, you're going to use your palms to support your upper body. So we're not here to hurt the low back. We're just letting that belly, that heart sink down towards the earth. And then if it feels nice, you might lower the top of the head on down. Let the back of the neck relax. You might give the head a little jiggle, a little shake here, a little sway. And then on an inhale, you're going to press actively through the pads of your feet, press through the palms of your hands, rise up tall through the top of your head, finding that length. Once more, we rise proudly. Beautiful. So now we'll take a fold and then we'll move into a half lift. So once more on an inhale, sweep those arms out and up. As you exhale, plant the hands, send the belly and the heart forward. This time on an inhale, we're going to lift to flat back by lifting our spine straight, pressing the top of our head towards the wall in front of us. Mine's kind of upwards towards the ceiling. And then I'm going to curl my tailbone in just a little bit to imagine my flat back. And I'll show you from here. We're engaging the core here. I'm curling my tailbone in just a little bit to flatten my back. And then on an exhale, sink back down into your fold, however that feels good. You might let the head hang. When you're ready, press through the feet. Inhale, rise up tall to Tadasana. Wonderful. So this is the first part of our sun salutation. Let's put it all together. And then we're going to add in some seated planks. I know it sounds scary, but it's going to be fun. Some seated cobra and some seated downward dog. Moving through a full seated sun salutation because we can do anything from a seat. All right. Finding your Tadasana, making room for that belly for the fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up, whichever way delights you. Exhale, maybe you plant them on the thighs, maybe you don't. Maybe you let them hang as you lean forward. On an inhale of your choice, come up into that flat back, pressing straight through the spine, curling the tailbone a little bit. Exhale, lower that heart center back down. On an inhale of your choice, press through the palms, press through the legs, rise up. Beautiful. From here, we're going to sink into a seated plank. What does that look like? Seated plank looks like this. I extend my legs out in front of me. I'm planting the pads of my feet on the earth. And then I'm leaning my upper body back as I reach out through the top of my head and my fingertips, engaging the core. If we were doing plank on the ground, our goal for plank is to engage the core of the body. You might bring the palms into the heart center to bring ease here to the core, or keep them extended above the head, knowing that makes it more difficult. From plank, we're going to move into cobra. And I do this by grabbing my hands above my head. I'm going to sit forward on my seat, lift the heart and the head forward. So cobra opens up our chest. I'll show you here. We go from plank, on my chair, it's kind of hard, plank, to pressing the heart and the head forward. The back of the arms reach back. So in cobra, we open the front line of the body from the top of our legs, the tip of our nose, and here we are doing it seated. From cobra, we move into downward facing dog. We're going to move into this like this. So instead of pressing the heart forward, pressing the belly forward, we're going to find a neutral spine and lift upright, pressing through the fingertips. Now you might enjoy this. You might enjoy a challenge of leaning back a little bit and lifting the legs, right? So this engages the core as well. So here we are lifting straight up for downward facing dog, or finding some balance to add to our challenge. All right, on an exhale, bend the knees, plant the feet. We're going to come back down into a forward fold. So let the belly and the heart fold down, support the arms on the thighs or let them hang. You decide, take a moment here. On an inhale, find your flat back, pressing long through the spine. Exhale, lower back down into your fold. On an inhale of your choice, rise up. Sweep those arms up high. Exhale, palms towards the heart center, Anjali Mudra. All right, let's turn this into a flow. A whole freaking seated sun salutation, y'all. Find your Tadasana. Start by making room for your body for that fold we're going to do. On an inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold, supporting your body where it feels good. Inhale, rise up to flat back, pressing through that spine. On an exhale, lower on down, nice and slow to that fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up. We rise into our plank, extending the legs long, either arms overhead or in Anjali Mudra as you lean back. Now I am balancing here, but you might lean back, into your seat. It's hard to do that sideways. From our cobra or from our chaturanga, our plank, we're going to sit upright, press the belly and the heart forward. We're arching the back as we press out through the top of our hands, the top of our head, breathing into our chest, squeezing our shoulder blades together in cobra. Beautiful. We'll come into downward facing dog by straightening our back out, lifting through our fingertips. We might hang out here. We might lean back, make a thing of it. Working the core, pressing through those heels. Woo! All right, when you're ready, bend the knees, plant the feet. We're gonna exhale into a fold. Inhale into that half lift. Exhale back down into the fold. Inhale, press through the feet, protect that low back, rise all the way up. Exhale, palms come to the heart center in Anjali Mudra. One more time, and then we're gonna do some warriors. We're gonna throw some other work in there. All right, find your spot. Feel those sits bones pressing down, the pads of the feet pressing down as you inhale, rise up. Your equal and opposite. Taking it at your pace. Maybe you want to use less of the hands as you fold. Maybe you want to use more, right? We're practicing that love for self. It comes from our nonviolence. All right, on an inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press through the feet, rise all the way up. We're going to extend the legs out in front of us, lean back into your plank. Have your arms be where you want to be. Breathe into the belly. Maybe your body shakes, let it. Breathe deeply into that shake. It's the body releasing energy, releasing stuck energy. We're not afraid of that. As long as it doesn't feel like pain. And then on an inhale of your choice, sit forward. Belly comes forward, heart comes forward. We arch that low back. Squeeze the shoulder blades, opening up the whole of the heart. And then when you're ready, the downward dog of your choice, straightening out that spine, pressing through the fingertips. Breathe here. On an exhale of your choice, plant the pads of your feet, come down into your fold. Inhale to that half lift, feeling powerful as you press through the top of the head. On an exhale, lower on down to that fold, as much or as little of a fold as you would like. Hang out here for a moment if you like. Let the top of the head relax, the neck lengthen here. And then when you're ready, press strong through the pads of the feet. Let the strength start there. As you press through the feet, rise up. Wonderful. We'll come into a seated warrior two. And we're going to take our right leg. We're just going to swing it out towards the right. If you're on a couch or a bed, you'll just scoot to the edge and then place it perpendicular. So warrior two opens up the hips. So the first thing we're going to focus on is really just opening up the hips here. You might take your hands and just create some length, a little stretch in the groin. And then options for warrior two. You can leave the left leg just like this, or you can straighten it out towards the side, toes pointed in front. So your knee is pointed towards the right, your bent knee pointed towards the right. The toes of your left foot are pointed towards the front. Here we are in warrior two. If at any point this knee starts talking, bend it again. And as long as your feet are pointed perpendicular and your hips are opening, this is a beautiful warrior two. So choosing your stance. And then from here, inhale, sweep the arms out by your sides. We're going to press through those fingertips and then gaze over the fingertips of that bent knee. Your gaze, also known in yoga as your drishti, helps to focus the mind. So as you gaze past the fingertips of that right hand, we're really going to focus on not letting that left arm drop because it tends to want to. That's why we're pressing out through the fingertips. We're still pressing down through the pads of the feet, right? From the solar plexus down, that energy pushes down. From the solar plexus up, we rise, finding length through the spine. And now we've added this outward energy through the arms. Breathe deeply here and then bend that right arm, plant the forearm atop the thigh. We're going to sweep that left arm up overhead. You might even gaze at it for an extended side angle. Now you can point this left palm, these left fingertips skyward, or you can continue the rotation until that left hand is in alignment with that left leg. Maybe that feels good, maybe it doesn't. And then from here, we're gonna open this twist up. So the back of my right forearm is pressed into my thigh. I'm gonna use it as an anchor to turn my heart up towards the sky. Woo, the back of my left hand presses towards the wall behind me if that feels good. Breathe deep into the belly here. And then on an exhale, we're gonna lift up back into our warrior two, drishti over that right hand. Beautiful. From here, let's switch sides. So coming into neutral, that left leg swings out towards the left. Oops. We're gonna extend that right leg long. Find warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. Your gaze, your drishti is now over the fingertips of this left hand here. Breathe deeply. Feel the opening in the thighs, right? You might even take this right thigh and just feel it rolling open. When you're ready, bend that left arm, extended side angle, pressing out through those fingertips, down through the pads of the feet, feeling strong here. And then if you would like, anchor that left arm, roll the heart center open, gaze skyward. This is a nice twist to the solar plexus, the core, the midline of the body, which is where we want to feel all of our twists here. Beautiful. On an inhale, pressing through the pads of the feet, rise up to a neutral warrior two. Find your drishti. Feel the outward pressure as you root down, as you rise strong. Feeling like a warrior two. And then when you are ready, come back to your Tadasana. Plant the pads of your feet. Let's move through our flow. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, find the fold of your choice. Inhale to that flat back. Exhale, sink the heart back down. Inhale when you're ready, pressing through the pads of the feet. We rise all the way up into our plank, extending the legs long, leaning our torso back as we still are just pressing that length through the top of the head, letting the body shake, finding the shape that works for us in this moment. Nonviolence isn't trying to show up like everyone else shows up. It's not reaching for some ideal that we didn't choose. Nonviolence looks like honoring us, our bodies, our minds, our hearts, and trusting that even if that's not in alignment with westernized society, that's a beautiful thing. All right, when you're ready, this has been a long time, we're holding it. Come into your cobra, lifting the arms up overhead. We're gonna press the belly and the heart forward. I lost words for a moment there. Pressing the tops of the hands towards the wall behind you, breathing deep into that space in the heart center. Stay here for a moment, really letting the belly lean forward, finding that arch in the back. As you breathe into the heart center, we just reflect for a moment. Non-violence, yoga has 8 limbs. The first limbs are the yamas, and the yamas are work things, ethical practices, stuff that we try and stay away from. And the first limb, the first thing that we learn about anything in yoga is nonviolence. When you're ready, exhale, come into downward dog of your choice by pressing tall towards the sky with that torso and those fingertips. We curl that tailbone in. We now have this flat back, extending through the legs or leaning back and balancing with them. You decide. Breathing here for a moment. And then when you are ready, find your exhale and come into your fold. So planting through Tadasana, folding the heart and the belly forward. On an inhale of your choice, find that flat back. On an exhale, fold back down. Hang out for as long as you like. And when you're ready, press strong to the pads of the feet. Help lift the torso right back up. And then on an exhale, palms towards the heart center in Samastiti. Let's find a twist here. So for a seated twist, we're going to take a figure 4. Now, option for figure 4 is first taking a block at the midline. We'll take our left leg, we'll plant the outside of the ankle on it. The goal of figure 4 is to open up the outside of the hip right here. And so you might do this and just simply from that inner hip area, press it gently down towards the earth. Maybe you're looking for something a little different. So you grab your strap or you grab your big toe and you bring it up over top the opposite thigh, right? So this can feel really good. You might keep the strap there just for some ease. And now we're going to take that palm and continue to just gently press that inner thigh open. Keeping that length through the spine, right? We never leave it in yoga. It is our constant companion, this grounding and this rising of energy in the body. And it's important because it helps protect the integrity of our body. It allows us to explore while honoring our shape. So you're welcome to turn this into a twist. On an inhale, maybe you sweep the arms up or out. As you exhale, we're going to take your right hand to your right foot. Your left hand, maybe it plants behind you. Maybe you grab the chair behind you. You're going to keep all of this length you created with your breath. And as you exhale, turn the heart and the gaze on over towards the right. And I'm using the palm of my hand as an anchor here to help turn my heart center, because I already know I can twist my shoulders and my neck, but I want to find that twist here in the solar plexus. So breathe, and maybe with each inhale in this twist, you find a little more length. With each exhale, you sink into a sweet spot that feels good for you. We'll take a few more breaths here, relaxing that left inner thigh down, finding that length through the spine with our breath, surrendering to this posture. I talk about ahimsa, nonviolence, rather messily trying to fit it into this half-hour class. But it is the foundation of our practice. And so often I think in westernized society, we think nonviolence, we're like, oh yeah, no war, we don't want to kill anybody, we're not going to hurt animals and people. And all of those things are so incredibly important. But what's even more important is where ahimsa is birthed from. Let's go ahead and release our twist. Let's release this leg and switch sides. So find where you want to be. I'm going to leave it here for now so I can sample a twist using this block. So from here, just allowing that right thigh to open on up. Maybe you cross the ankle over top the left thigh, you decide. Keeping that height, that length in the body. Ahimsa is birthed, nonviolence is birthed from love. And love is the foundation of our yoga practice. And you can be like, oh, okay, today. But it is. It's the reason that it's the first thing mentioned about anything that we do in yoga. When you sit down for the 8 limbs, the first thing you learn is love. And let's go ahead and turn this into a twist before I get preachy. On an inhale, sweep those arms up if you like. Exhale, right hand finds that left knee or left foot or right foot. And then coming into this twist, exploring it with your breath. Maybe you notice how deep breaths into the belly feel in this twist. What stretches, what changes in your bodily sensations as you take these deep, slow inhales and exhales. So when we think about nonviolence, really we can think about anything that is birthed from a place of love. Nonviolence is choosing to eat when we're hungry. Nonviolence is looking at someone that frustrates you and choosing to empathize instead of retaliate. Nonviolence looks like choosing rest and asking for help. When you're ready, go ahead and release from this twist. Let's release this right leg down to the ground. And let's find our final Shavasana. We're going to go ahead and end our practice in some stillness. And Shavasana can look like whatever the hell you want it to, first of all. But in chair yoga, we're just going to find a comfy posture where we can release all effort. For me, that looks like scooting all the way back in my chair, leaning my spine up against the back of it. And if you have a blanket nearby or a pillow nearby, you might wrap it around your neck or behind your neck and just hang out. If you don't have that, I tend to just tuck my chin neatly in towards my chest and then let the hands fall where they may. Let the eyes close or the eyelids grow heavy here. Your jaw and your tongue soften. Let your ears relax. What does it feel like to relax your ears on your face? What about your shoulders? Your butt cheeks and thighs? Can you let the belly soften along with the hips? Let yourself melt. If you slide and shift and move as you release effort, brilliant. Let it happen. Invite messiness. Perfection is violence. So we choose to be imperfect and we embrace it with love. As you settle into stillness, as you release physical effort in the body, you might take a moment and just marinate in the thoughts about what nonviolence is to you. What does it look like when you move with love? When you react with love? Maybe with each soft inhale, you invite a little of that sweet love into the body. And with each exhale, you let it permeate every cell in your body. The inhales inviting in the love that transforms, that inspires nonviolence, the love that is the root of the whole of our practice. And let it permeate every part of you. Softening those glutes once more. Relaxing those shoulders once more. We let love take center stage. When you're ready to reawaken your body, you might give a little wiggle to the toes. You might gently curl them against the earth, noticing what textures you feel. You might do the same with the palms of your hands, making gentle fists and then extending the fingers wide. We continue to gently awaken ourselves from this Shavasana by inviting that movement up into the arms and the legs, an intuitive awakening that feels good to your physical body. Then when you're ready, you might take a full seat upright once more, grounding down through those sits bones and the pads of the feet. And then on an inhale, palms come to Anjali Mudra. Let's find that height through the spine. pressing length through the top of the head once more. And we'll end our practice here. We'll end our practice in a place surrounded by love, embracing the first of the 8 limbs of yoga, these 5 ethical practices that help us move through life and make it our yoga. Because the stuff we do on the mat here is just practice. It's practice so that we can live it in the real world. Thank you for practicing with me today. The light and the dark in me sees the light and the dark in you, and we are the same.